So today's session is going to be a little different than what we have been doing. In order to protect the student data, in Edgenuity, we do not have a set of false student data. So if I were to go into Edgenuity and show you all of the items that you need to see, I would not be able to protect the students' identities and their information. You would see any grades that they received, you'd see their SIS number and their names, and we don't want to do that. So we had a training with an Edgenuity individual back in April, and we recorded it, and I have gone back through that recording so that we could share that with our employees, and I have blurred out all the information that shows student names and any student information that we cannot share. So because of that, this session I will be showing you videos instead of actually going into the live version myself. I will be showing you videos of how you need to do the items that we're going to be discussing. So again, we just wanted to let you know, and this is to protect the students' identities and their information. Edgenuity offers a lot of student tools, and our students, we have it set up so that our students are supposed to go through a video on how to use Edgenuity at the beginning when they first use it. Unfortunately, we all know that sometimes, the students, they're paying half attention, or, they forget what they're supposed to be doing. So it's really nice for you as the instructor to know what kind of tools are there for the students. So that's the first thing we're going to be looking at, are the student tools that are available in Edgenuity.
Okay, quickly from the student view, I want to show you a few tools that the students have on demand. These are especially helpful for your struggling learners or your students who have IEPs or 504s. The student watches a 7-minute video, and in some cases they half watch it because they're distracted by possibly their phone or their friends. And as a teacher, it's important that you coach your students and remind them, guide them to use these tools that will support their learning needs. So this is what the student screen looks like. And to begin with, this is a certified teacher in the course that he or she is teaching. For example, this is an Algebra 2 certified teacher. She will deliver a warm-up, instruction, and summary video in most of our core courses. Some of the tools that the students have available to them on demand, they have to take the initiative to actually use these tools. For example, we have a digital text highlighter. This highlights words, phrases when they're reading passages or questions. It can be color-coded. We also have a built-in screen reader. The student would just use their cursor to highlight text and click on the headphones, and a window will pop out and they'll click the play button. Now, only certain text can be highlighted and read aloud. For example, this text can, the transcript can. This screen here, if it is a video, the pre-recorded video cannot, of course, the words cannot be highlighted. But anything outside of that can be. And the students already know how to use the pause, play, and replay. Anytime they want to stop the video, take some notes, or go back and watch the video, they can do that. They cannot fast forward through the video. They have to watch every second of it. This instructor uses universal design for learning, explicit instruction, and gradual release of responsibility, just the I do, we do, you do principle. There's closed captioning. Student can just click on the CC button and the caption will run along the bottom of the screen. This instructor also has their own volume control separate from your computer volume control. So if you have students who need amplification, this can be turned up, of course, with their headphones on. And if they have noise sensitivity issues, they can put their noise canceling headphones on and turn this down. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen will be a plus sign. When that plus sign is clicked, it will turn into a minus sign, and there are 3 tools here that the students can use. One being the e-notes. As they go, they can take e-notes and save those e-notes to use on assessments that you choose. For example, they can use these notes on all their quizzes or their tests or their exams. We have a onboard glossary and dictionary, and we have the transcript. All right, we also have built-in ELL, ESL tools. If the student clicks on English, up here, the drop-down menu, it will reveal 60 different languages that this can be translated into. The only thing that is not translated is this pre-recorded video. It will always be in English. But for example, if this student does not want to listen to the instructor deliver the lesson in English, they can click on the plus sign. The transcript will pop out. They can highlight the transcript, go over here, click on the headphones, and click play. And it will read the transcript aloud to them while the instructor is interacting with the video, with the visuals. And of course, all the assignments, quizzes, tests, and exams will translate over, as well as any of the online content passages that are required to be read. Let's take a look at our courses. Anytime you want to find a course, you can just use your filter or type in the name. And some of these schools have already customized their courses. And for example, this one says ACE at the beginning. If you are interested in what instruction is available in the course, you just select it and go out here to view course structure. View course structure, and you can review and preview the instruction that is in this course. Our courses and lessons are typically made up of 3 videos, an assignment, and a quiz. There could be variations on that depending upon the type of course it is. For example, a warm-up video, you can just click on it to view that.
You see that guy? I'm pretty sure he's going to get pulled over. And that makes me wonder, how do police know when someone's
So we have
speeding?
warm-up instruction summary, we have an assignment, and you can also view the quiz bank questions. The students will get a 10-question quiz, and those quizzes are randomized from a bank of questions, and you can review those by go show all and scroll through and review the questions that the students will be answering in their quiz. We also have something called guided notes in our core courses. Anytime you see this icon, it means there are guided notes available for this lesson. So let's take a look at those. I can click here and get just the student version, or I can click here in front of the icon and have access to the student and the teacher version. The teacher version has the answers. So let's take a look at what guided notes look like. And as the student is watching the videos, they can fill in these notes similar to closed notes with various organizations, charts, concept maps. And then when they get to the instruction video, it'll even show them what slide and where to find the answers for their guided notes. Students can print those out. They cannot be filled in live through Adobe unless you have a program that allows that. But these are meant to be printed out and the students fill them out by hand. And each course has resources such as a blue link here to course documents. So here you have a briefing, the syllabus, and the syllabus is a Word document form, file format, so you can edit and make it yours. Scope and sequence, performance tasks, answer keys, and standards alignment document. To set up a user group, we'll go to Students, Manage User Groups. We're going to click on Add New Group. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it my first period biology. First period biology, and I'm going to click Save. And now I'm going to populate that user group with students. So I'm going to go to Students and Manage Students. Manage Students is where you find out information about any student as well as enrolling students in courses, disabling their courses, customizing their courses, getting progress reports. So for example, if I click on Josh here, I can view his courses, his progress report, his session log, enroll him in courses, update his information, and add a parent to the parent section to receive his progress report automatically. I can schedule those. I can also add him to a user group, plus a lot of other tasks here. So I'm going to pretend like I have my first period biology roster. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to select every single student that is in my roster. And I see, oh, I'm only seeing 50 at a time. So I'm going to click on 200. So I see 200 students on one page, kind of like shopping for cheap. You want to see them all when you're shopping. All right, so I have...
Can you search for students?
Absolutely, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just type their name in. So I have selected all my students. And by the way, you can also filter these students if you want to filter them by their grade level. So it gives you a fewer list to go through. You can absolutely do that. Okay, so I have all my students. Now I'm going to add them to my first period biology group. Process, click on the down arrow, find my first period biology course group that I just created. And then I would click the plus sign to add those students. And click OK. And OK. So now, if I go to Students and Manage User Groups, I'm going to scroll down here. These are all the other groups I've created during my trainings. Here's the one I created for Boone County. And there are all of my students that are in the group. You see it places that little icon next to their name, their username, and you know that they are in a group. And if you hover, it will show you all groups that they're in. Students can be in as many groups as you want them to be in, and you can create as many groups as you want. And no one can see your groups, and you cannot see anyone else's groups. You can't share groups. Next year, that's changing. Let's jump on over to customizing your course. If we go to Courses and Manage Courses, you will need to select the course that you want to customize. I am going to do a quick search for biology. All right, and here is the biology course that is used by the Alternative Center. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to use this. I'm going to pretend like I need to update the biology course. I need to customize it. So I'm going to select that course. And I'm going to click, I'm going to find the button that says Customize. It may be in your lineup here, or you may have to click on More to get to it. I had to click on More. I'm going to click Customize. And as Kathy said, you want to create a new course based on this course. That's when you're in it the first time, you're going to create a copy of the course. To make this your course, you're going to alter the name. And it says ACE Biology. I'm going to click in front, and I'm going to rename this one 2020 Spurlock, but follow the naming convention of your school, which appears to be ACE. Okay? But I'm going to do this one so I can delete it, and I know the one that I'm working on. All right, I'm going to click Save, and what that does, that saves the name of my course. And I have not published this course yet, so it is not, the course itself is not saved. Here are all of the units that are in the course. And if I click on the caret arrow, it's going to show me all of the lessons that are inside this unit. Remember, courses are made up of units. Units are made up of lessons. Lessons are made up of instructional activities. So when I click on a lesson, here are the instructional activities: warm-up, instruction, summary, and quiz. Now, if I wanted to get rid of all of a certain type of activity, I can click on Filter Activity Types. And you can see here that this course has already been customized once, and they have toggled off the lab reports. That's how you remove content, is simply by clicking on the green arrow and toggling it off. So it looks like all the lab reports, the short writing, the projects, performance tasks have been removed from the course. And you can see this, there's 4 hours total of warm-ups in the course, 33 hours of instruction, 5 hours of assignments, 3 hours of summaries, 5 hours of tests, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to hide that view. The waffle sticks means you can reorder the content. So if I move characteristics and chemistry of life after cell structure, I can do that. If I decide that I want to teach genetics and heredity in semester 2, I will grab a hold of the waffle stick and I will pull it down after the cumulative exam. Cumulative exams come at the end of the semester. At the end of each lesson is a quiz. At the end of each unit, let me open this unit back up for you, is a unit test. Okay, so I moved genetics and heredity to the second semester. Now what has happened, it travels in a package, the videos, the assignments, and the quiz banks, and the question banks. They all travel in this package. So when I moved genetics and heredity here, it removed all of those pertinent questions with it and removed them from the cumulative exam. I'm going to move that back up there. And if I want to add a unit, I can do that. Every year, I used to be a science teacher. I would do a science fair project, but I didn't call it a science fair project. I called it an experimental research project. I'll call it the unit here because it was an experimental research project. Click Save. Now I can build a unit from using our lesson bank. So the first thing I need to do is turn on that unit, click on the name of the unit, and when I click on the name of the unit, I get this option in my workspace over here. So now I'm going to start adding lessons from our lesson bank. I can add by keyword or I could add by standards. If you have a document, you already know the standards, you can click on that and type in the standard. I'm going to go with keyword because I don't have the standards memorized. I used to. 15 years ago, but I do not anymore. So I'm going to go down and select science. And I can search here by keyword or by standard. And I want to, first of all, I want to find all the lessons on hypotheses. Here are 4 lessons. If I click on the coral reefs, I can see the objectives. And this lesson uses the skill forming a valid hypothesis. I am more interested in the skill lesson that is specifically on forming a valid hypothesis. So I would click on that to review this objectives. Yep, that's the one I want. So I'm going to put a check in the box and I'm going to add that lesson to my unit. There, voila, it popped it in there. Okay, so I'm still highlighting the name of my unit. I want to add another lesson. This one I want to add on data. I'm going to go to science again. And, whoops, I already clicked on that. And data. Oh, I have a lot of lessons in the lesson bank on data. So I see 3 right here in a row, and I'm like, well, which one is the one I want? So I click on it to review the objectives. I would say this one, determining validity and reliability. This is the lesson I want to include for my students. Oh, and I also see collecting and organizing data as well as data analysis. Well, we have a lot more to choose from here. Oh, experimental design principles. Let's take a look at those. But anyway, you get the idea. Oh, scientific methods. And here are some specific skill lessons. So instead of clicking search, I've already selected my lessons. I'm going to click add lesson. And let's see, it didn't add them. Try it one more time. Why do I didn't add them? Okay. Well, anyway, you get the idea there. You can build your own unit and your own lesson. Now, what if you wanted to add your own instructional materials to this lesson? So on analyzing data, I'm going to click on that lesson. And here are all of the instructional activities. But I want to add my own activity. I want to add a project. I want to add a poster project where the students will be creating a poster. So here I'm going to click on Create New Activity. Click on the down arrow, Performance Task. What I'm going to select, you can select a writing project, a lab report, or a project in general. I'm going to call this Data Poster. Describe it, what you want the students to do. I can upload my own instructional PowerPoints, Excel sheets, Word documents, PDFs, whatever I have that may give directions to the students. And if I have recorded my own video, instructional video, and uploaded it to YouTube, I could even enter the URL of my video there. You can use one that you've made yourself, or one that you like to use that the students would have access to. And I'm going to select, I want this to be as a project, and click Save. All right. So I have my course built the way I want. Now I'm going to publish this course. I'm going to click Publish. And publish, and then it's going to ask me to check my course options. Well, we just finished doing here was customizing the content that's in the course. Here, we want to select the features that dictate how the course behaves. For example, the passing thresholds. When the students take a quiz or a test, we need to set the passing thresholds so the system will know if the student has passed, it can move them on to the next lesson. Grading weights. Allow save and exit on quizzes. You want that. You probably would want hide viewed questions, because if the student is sitting there first time around, taking the quiz and they answer 2 questions, it's time to go to lunch. They get up, they go to lunch, they log out before they leave, they come back, then they can pick up where they left off. But if they have jumped ahead and looked at other questions, they could look those questions up or talk to their classmates and get the answers. So hiding view questions, it preserves academic integrity. Allowing e-notes on quizzes. Usually everyone does do that. This one is split as to some teachers want them to have access to their e-notes on tests. It is rare, though, that teachers allow students to have access to the e-notes on exams, because it is possible for the students to copy and paste the whole transcript into their e-notes. Okay, then 4 attempts are given to the students, and we recommend, there's nothing wrong with 4, by the way, we recommend 3, because once they take that quiz 3 times, they have seen all of the answers. And automatic progression, if you check this, it allows the students to keep on moving even if they did not show mastery of that lesson. If you want the students to stop, if you lock them down when they have failed that quiz all 4 times, that way it's a cue for you to intervene. Because you want the students, the idea is for them to get the credit for this course, and you really wouldn't want them to keep on working if they have failed a lesson. You want to intervene. And what I would recommend, my recommendation, a best practice would be to uncheck that, and when the student has failed that quiz for the last time, you go in and you review and you notice that, wow, you've only spent 30 seconds on this quiz and a minute on the next one and a minute and a half on the next one. It's clear that student has not put in, given it a good faith effort, and you would want to intervene and say, okay, before I give you a retake, I need to see your notes. Or you could even assign them to fill in the guided notes. It's a huge behavior changer, because if the students can just go through and they can click, 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 and then know they can keep on moving, they're going to be less apt to really watch the videos carefully, take notes, and give it a good faith effort. All right, so the rest of these are just settings that would be your preference. And here, display guided notes to students, so they do have them available if you have the students to use them. And it looks as though this is a credit recovery course, because pre-testing has been turned on, and it is a pre-test at the beginning of every lesson. And here are time limits, start and target dates. It's important to put a target date on there because it organizes the work for the students. When they log in to their course, they see the dates and actual assignments and activities for each date. It keeps them on track. All right, then we click Submit All Changes, and now my course, is ready. Let me see what we've got here. Okay. Now when I go into Courses and Manage Courses, my course is right there at the top, and it is ready for me to enroll my students in. All right, so I'm going to delete that so it doesn't confuse anyone.
We had a question in the chat window. Rebecca wanted to know if we could add a video or a recording from your Google Drive, or is it only YouTube? She did say that you could link one with the URL. I have never placed a Google Drive video in there, but I would think that we would be able to, because she did say you could do it with the URL. So if you would want to add yourself to a course because you want to see everything the way that the student would be viewing it, there is a way to do that. And I've included those so that when you are able to go back and review this recording, if you need to, you would have those steps. The first one is that you're going to go to the Manage Students, Manage Students. And then notice step 2, that underneath the Manage Students, you'll have a little button that says Select My Account. Step 3 is you will then select Add Course. And once you check the course, put a check mark beside the course that you want to put yourself in, then you will click the button that says Add the selected courses. Edgenuity also has a very nice help center. And across the top of your screen, when you're in Edgenuity, over on the far right, you will see the support option and the help center. When you open the help center, you'll notice that they already have it broken down into several different items, or you can search for whatever it is that you're needing help on. So some best practices for when we're getting started with our Edgenuities is, if you are customizing a course, you always want to create a copy. You never want to override a course that is in there. A good practice to get into is to use the school year and to put your school initials in front of the name on the new copy. Again, you want to make sure to adjust the course options as Darlene showed us. The passing thresholds, the default for Edgenuity is 70%. That may not be acceptable to you. And if you're creating this course and customizing, then that's up to you. That's your preference. Same with the grading weights. She did mention about hiding the viewed questions and allowing the e-notes. The automatic progression is something that you probably should turn off, because again, what that does, if the students are failing the quizzes, it still allows them to continue. If you set the fail attempts at 3, like she suggested, because by that time they've seen all of the quiz questions, it will flag you. If you have that automatic progression turned off, it will flag you that that student needs some intervention. And that is really what we want to have happen. We don't want the students to progress when they're not passing the material. You should adjust your time limits and adjust your dates. Again, those were just some real quick best practices. Tomorrow's session is going to be from 2:30 to 3:30, and it's going to be Do More with Edgenuity. And in this session, we're actually going to be covering monitoring student progress, analyzing some key reports, and again, just going over again the best practices. Don't forget to always check out our resources that are located under the Boone County Schools bookmarks. And please fill out the evaluation so that you can receive your certificate. Kyle will put that link in the, oh, he already did. He's ahead of me. Thank you, Kyle. It's already in the chat window. Again, we appreciate your attendance today. We will stay here for a few more minutes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me or put it in the chat. Thank you very much.